Okay, so today's topic is related to the prism, glass prism, and basically the process of refraction of light through a prism and dispersion also. Okay, dispersion of white light by a glass prism, that is also a very important topic. So we'll cover that. Have you seen a prism with your own eyes?
सर फोटोज में ही देखा है.
School में haven't you done any practicals in your school?
सर होना था इस साल लेकिन हो
अच्छा
नहीं
अभी तो
पाया.
ठीक है. Because generally if we see like we have heard about the rectangular glass, one day we talked about the rectangular glass. Okay, do you remember when we talked about the refraction? This was glass slab. Do you remember I draw this? Okay, like this. Okay, so if we see this ray ऐसे पीछे जाएगी तो it was parallel है ना, तो इतने अच्छे से नहीं आ रही है. Parallel to the original ray. Okay, original incident ray, that was like suppose this is one, this is air and this is glass. Okay, and this is again air. So the ray, if suppose O A, this is B, this is maybe C. Okay, so we talk about the incident ray. Incident ray is OA. Okay, it will be at some angle I, and this is some angle R. Okay, and then it will be again suppose I. Okay, so the emergent ray, because there is a process of refraction because the medium is changing. Okay, the speed of light changes in different medium, so it is going from air to glass and from glass to air. So this process of refraction happens when we encounter this interface. Okay, two mediums are there, and again the ray is emerging out in the same medium. Okay, there could be some scenarios where the when it is emerging out, so it is not air, it is something else. Okay, if it is something else then a scenario would be different, but now it is air, so it is going from air to glass and from glass to air again. So the emergent ray, which is here, we can show it like BC. Okay, that is if we make a dotted line, so it is parallel to OA. Okay, this process we have covered. Now we will see the glass prism. Okay, this is a triangle. I mean, you can see it like as a triangle, but it is not a triangle. It's a 3D figure. Okay, it has uh, two triangular bases. Okay, and three rectangular surfaces. कौन कौन से होंगे triangular? Okay, so this is the side view. If you see the front view of it, sort of. इस तरीके का है ना, it's like little elongated I've made. It is width is not that much. Okay, let me clear it. Okay, so how many triangular surfaces can you see in this one? 2. Okay, one, two. Okay, ये triangular हैं. And what are the rectangular areas? Suppose the bottom one, we take it as 3, and this whole one is taken as 4, and the back one. Okay, back one is so much. It's 5. So all in all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 areas. Getting it? 2 areas are triangular, and 3 are rectangular. Okay. There is a term called angle of prism. Okay. So what is that angle of prism? Suppose this is angle A, ये angle of prism है. Okay. Okay. This is angle of prism. If you want to see that over here, so यहाँ पे ऐसे समझ सकते हो इसको. A, angle A. Okay. This is called angle of prism. Now let us see the process of refraction of light through this triangular, basically glass prism. Just take on the next page. Do you see a prism as a natural, some kind of a natural phenomenon that happens in Mother Nature? What do you think? What do you think? Out of your own observations till now, do you see this is a kind of a practical thing, I mean, which happens in Mother Nature, or since it is there, okay, and it is a really nice experiment, but do you see that this kind of act, this kind of maybe refraction process naturally happens in Mother Nature? It's very common. Have you ever like thought of that?
the rainbow formation is because of this refraction.
What? Come again, please. What were you saying? देखो, in nature also we see generally we see the water droplets.
Sir, I
Okay,
am saying that the rainbow formation.
a rainbow formation is there, but do you think does it happen because of the prism nature? Because I mean, suppose there are water droplets. Okay,
Yes sir, हाँ sir, water droplet भी ऐसी ही होती है.
prism shape में होती हैं वो.
सर होती तो अलग शेप है, लेकिन उसमें कुछ कुछ पार्ट
हाँ
प्रिज्म जैसा रिजेंबल होता है.
हाँ, लेकिन देखो, the process of we are not saying that process of dispersion, process of refraction is the same in the mother nature, right? But when we are studying this topic, okay? Prism. I mean, you get the prism also in market, okay? But that is a man-made object, okay? But if you see in mother nature, I mean, I don't see that that is very common, okay? Generally, if we see the droplets, okay, rainbow formation we have seen, and generally rainbow formation, how does it happen? Do you know the principle? We'll cover that in this class. But always see when it's like moist or maybe after just after the rain has stopped, okay, and just on the opposite side of the sun, rainbow formation happens, okay. But if you see closely, how are the droplets? Droplets generally take the shape of the spherical shape they have, okay. When the light is going, some kind of reflection is happening, and then again it is coming out on the same side, okay. The side it is entering, then rainbow formation. It doesn't happen all the time, okay. So there has to be some special conditions which are met, and then only the rainbow formation is there. So it is no magic, it is no something new. Only thing is that, okay, I mean, we can just think about where are like from where these different colors are coming, okay. So whenever we have a white light and we disperse that through a prism, so we get like different colors, okay, 7 colors maybe, right? So that was also an experiment. Somebody did that. In fact, Isaac Newton did that, okay. First use a glass prism to obtain the basically this spectrum of sunlight, okay. And he tried to, when he did that, he found that different colors were there, okay, from the white light. So what he did was he used another prism, okay, inverted type of, after that. So all these 7 colors passed through that prism, and again the white light was coming out. So he could make out like that, okay, the white light is made up of these 7 colors. And which was the light that is bent most? It is violet, and then least is red one, okay. So we'll cover that, but this is the process, okay. But as far as I see that, okay, the rainbow formation is there, but this principle, so I mean, why I'm asking this question, we should always, while studying also, because at your time, at your level, if you are studying something, so that is for the first time, so we just focus on that. So that is our prime responsibility. We are focusing on the prism, but we should also think that is it somehow related to mother nature? Can I see some practical examples? Can I have some natural examples of the prism? Or is it like just for the sake of studying we are studying, and it is not like some principle is uncovered through prism also, okay. So white light is happening, so okay, different colors, 7 colors are emerging out. So why? So this is some kind of a new thing is happening, because if you see the white light, okay, so somehow the white light is also composed of these colors. As you see in the drawing, if you have a canvas and if you want to have some watercolors, okay, so if you take these colors and like join them, so you will get the white color, and you paint them and you'll get the white color. Different color formations you must have like studied, okay.
Like
If I am
Newton's disk.
like Newton's disk, okay. So some say, even the rishis say, I've heard like this is a special knowledge about the light rays, and they are giving in the Gyanganj University. Okay, this is Sukshmalok University in Himalayas. So there you get all the knowledge about the Rashmiyas of the white light. So it is not about only the seven colors. There are like very minute rashmiyas, okay, different. So that knowledge is there, and that knowledge is about to come on earth, okay. Over the time it will come, and it is tremendous knowledge, okay. So right now we are not studying that even in our schools. Only we like talk about the prism and only the seven colors, but it is a very intricate science, okay. Ancient India, ancient Indian rishis used to know about that. So it was a quality based culture earlier, ancient India, and people used to like they work internally, okay. They used to meditate and they used to on these work on these inner sciences, of course consistently daily, okay, for a very prolonged period of time, and then they used to get this knowledge, okay. So you can think how, I mean, how important or how nice was the system at that time, that you are working on your own, okay, and then you are uncovering certain things, okay, from mother nature as a gift, and you're getting that knowledge. So this path was more conducive as far as your moksha is considered, okay. So because this is altogether a moksha based system, ये जो हम हमारा जो system है, okay, this is a moksha based system. So if you do anything and that is aligned towards that final goal, so then that is very beneficial, and that is how Indian civilization is basically the rishi based civilization, the research based civilization is was around this system, okay. So even the family structure, even the different like festivals, etc., they are all circulating around this moksha based system, okay. And though the common people do not know about them, they just follow the rituals, they just follow the practices which have been set up by the rishis. But ultimately what happens is it is beneficial to them, because the rishi knows that okay, I have like suppose some lifespan, maybe 100 years, maybe more, okay, whatever the average age is at that time. After that he has to go, so they used to impart that knowledge, or they are creating certain kind of system, certain kind of maybe rituals many a times, so that these things knowledge pass, okay. And this, it is beneficial. Who will use it? Next generation will use it, their next generation will use it. So they have like a responsibility to fulfill whatever they have got, they have to pass it on to the others for their benefits, and everybody is doing that. Even we are also on the same bandwagon, because we are also the part of the same system, okay. So there are even vast many other things still, okay. It's not about only the prism and the seven colors, there are many other things, the white light, okay. So sun, I still remember, I've like heard it or maybe read it somewhere many years back. There was a foreigner who like came from some different country, maybe US or UK, I don't remember. But he was saying that, I mean, we are studied in our schools that it is sun only, but when he was like advancing in the internal sciences, internal research, okay, through its meditation, etc., so then he realized that these are like living entities. So then he used to call them Surya Dev after that in India, okay. So he converted from sun to Surya Dev. So these are living entities, and you'll feel gratitude towards them many times, because they are like supporting you, in a number of ways. And earth-based system is solar, okay. So that gratitude part, that part is there when we say that, okay. It's not just mere word, but we mean it also. So that transformation, I've like, I think I've heard it somewhere, or I've seen somewhere, but he has got that peculiar journey, okay, how he transformed from sun to Suryadev. So that is very interesting. But while these type of learning is there in our schools, people do not realize, but over the time now, the next generation, maybe the next to next generation, they'll come and you will get well versed with these things, because uh, now the population of tapasvis is like rising on mother earth, okay. So when we go to Vipassana ashrams, we see when we take or do give seva in the children's workshops. So I've many times seen that they're so like young, okay, to 3 years, maybe 4 years, and they're like sitting like anything, sitting like a Buddha. So they're the past paramis are coming into action, and now the next level of people are coming from India, okay, and they are like advanced in these internal research, internal sciences, okay. So if you have got also interest in these things, you can uncover these things, you can at least search about these things. Okay, but at the end of the day, law of karma is always there. You just cannot do anything with your knowledge. It has to be in a nice way. Okay, so somebody, what I've seen is, if you have got some knowledge and if you want to, like, you're imparting it to somebody, so if you are doing certain things which are not very healthy, so the somebody will come out of the nature and will, like, guide you. Sometimes they can scold you, or they can tell you tightly also, okay, that this is not the way. So you've got everything, but you have to use it for the benefit of mankind. That is to all. Okay, that is it. So let us see what are the principles involved in this. Okay, this is angle, I suppose. Okay, so this is angle is E, suppose. Okay, this angle is E. Angle of emergence is there. Inside angle, if you see, this is angle of refraction. Okay, this is R, angle R. Okay, so if you see the angles, angle could be like angle I. This is like angle of incidence, CI DENCE. Okay, angle of incidence. Then you have got angle of refraction, R. Okay, ANGLE, angle of incidence, angle of refraction, angle of refraction, angle of emergence. This is E. Okay, angle of emergence. Okay, this is angle A, angle of the prism. Okay, angle of I is there, angle R is there, angle of angle emergence is there. Okay, then there is an angle called angle of deviation. Do you know about that? This is very important, and numericals come into your classes and exams. Okay, so if I like elongate this thing further, I can like tell it clear surface also. Okay, and if I take it this back, then this angle, Okay, this is called angle D. Angle D here. Okay, so it is between the incident ray. Incident ray is which one? Which is like making angle I with the perpendicular to that surface. Okay, surface is, suppose this is B, this is C, this is A. Okay, so the surface, when we're talking about AB surface, okay, so the angle of incidence is the angle that is like between the perpendicular to this AB surface and the incident ray. Okay, and when the ray is finally emerging out, so that is called an emergent ray. Okay, if we like trace it backwards, and if we trace this incident ray forward, so the angle made between those two lines, okay, which is called as angle D. Very important, you should know what is the angle of deviation. Okay, angle of deviation. Angle of deviation, angle I incidence हो गया, refraction, emergence. Okay, getting this point? Is it clear in this figure? Little cluttered, but can you make it out? Angle D. Okay, let me show it with a different color. This is red dot and this is red dot. Okay, these two are angle of deviation. Getting it? So this is how it works, and these are the angle. I mean, you should know about this, the convention that is being followed. What is I? What is R? R is like the inside ray. Okay, so that is at the angle of I, angle R. But where is the angle R formed? Angle R is also formed with the refracted ray and the perpendicular to that surface AB. Okay, similarly we have to draw a perpendicular to the surface AC also, and then there is emergent ray E. Okay, with the angle E, which is making that angle with the perpendicular to that surface E. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just wait, give me a second. What do you think could be the relation between these angles? There could there be any relation? So there is some condition. It's like when a ray of light, it suffers minimum, it has minimum deviation through the prism, then the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of emergence. Okay, angle of incidence, which is I, is equal to the angle of emergence, which is angle E. And this ray of light basically passing through the prism will be parallel to the base of the prism, as I have shown in this thing. Okay, so this is the case when it is minimum deviation through the prism. Okay, and angle of refraction inside the material of the prism is half the angle of the prism. Angle of the prism कौन सा है? A है. ठीक है, तो वो उसका हाफ होता है इस केस में. ओके, सो इसमें एंगल ऑफ डेविएशन तो जनरली आपको आइडिया होना ही चाहिए. ओके, कुछ ऐसा समझ लो इसको, रिलेशन इंपॉर्टेंट है काफी. AD angle of deviation is equal to I प्लस एंगल ऑफ इमरजेंस, ठीक है, माइनस एंगल ऑफ प्रिज्म. वो क्या होगा? एंगल ऑफ प्रिज्म ए, एक तरीके से. AD इज एंगल ऑफ डेविएशन. एंगल ऑफ डेविएशन को क्या हमने लिखा था? D. रिमेंबर, I प्लस एंगल ऑफ इमरजेंस माइनस एंगल ऑफ प्रिज्म. ठीक है, एंगल ऑफ A is angle of prism. Angle of prism. ठीक है, getting this thing? इसमें you can get some numericals. Okay, so this was the major convention that we followed, and now let us have a little discussion about the dispersion. Okay, okay, this question is there. So how it acts, you can see. दिस इज हाउ, इस तरीके से फिर ये यहाँ पे निकलने स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे। रेड है और एटलीस्ट आई शुड गिव यू सम टेस्ट। लेट्स सी, I have few colors at least. This sort, and then at the end is like violet is there, but I do not have the violet color, so what I will use the blue color, let us see. Okay, something of this, and there are different colors, like yellow is there. Okay, yellow at least I can draw. Okay, green is there, something of that sort. Okay, blue तो है ही, और फिर violet तो नहीं है मेरे पास. Okay, but this is like this red, 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 and this is एक तरीके से violet. Okay, and this is white light. White light. Okay, white light, violet, red, ये हो गया. Okay, dispersion of white light by the glass prism. So as we discussed already, that Isaac Newton was the first one to use this glass prism to obtain the spectrum of sunlight, and he did this सभी के एक तरह से सर बोलते थे उनको, सर आइजैक न्यूटन. Okay, to use glass prism. Okay, glass prism. He did some experiments on glass prism, है ना? Split the colors of spectrum of the white light, and he saw that there are like many colors are coming out. Okay, and then what he did was, let us see. So what he did is, से एक ऐसे ले लिया, ओके, और दूसरा थोड़ा सा इस तरीके से ले लिया, सॉर्ट ऑफ. ओके, ऐसे आ रही है, और फिर इसमें से काफ़ी सारी रेज निकल रही हैं इस तरीके से, और फिर वो यहाँ पे जा रही हैं, है ना, लाइक गोइंग इसमें इस तरीके से, एंड देन अगेन लाइक डेविएटिंग, और फिर इट इज़ गोइंग लाइक दिस, और फिर वहाँ से वाइट लाइट निकल रही है इस तरीके से. वाइट लाइट, WL, white light again. Okay, WL is for white light, white light. Okay, so these were some of the experiments. It is as good as, like, suppose you encounter certain kind of maybe a spherical surface. Okay, as we are talking about the drops, so suppose you have a spherical glass and you're doing some experiments with the spherical glass, and if suppose a total internal kind of a reflection happens, and you might see also a rainbow in that case. But generally that is a dynamic process. Okay, whenever the rain is falling, like once the rain stops and under some particular conditions. Okay, what are those conditions? That it has to have some internal reflection also, then you will see that rainbow. So it is not that every time rain happens and then you will see the rainbow, because there are some conditions. Okay, but let us see what are those conditions. Okay, it's basically a natural process. Okay, let us see how it happens. The raindrop. Okay, so this is sunlight. Okay, it is passing and it is totally internally reflected. Okay, what are the condition? Opposite side of the sun. Okay, suppose this is, let's say, Suryadev. Suryadev is there. और इस तरफ में यहाँ रेन ड्रॉप्स है. Okay, then it happens. Okay, so you cannot see the rainbow in the direction of the sun. So suppose sun is at the back and you're seeing, suppose, the rainbow in the front, so then sun will be at the back. Sun rays are coming and they are like going inside those raindrops and they are totally internally reflected and again coming out. Okay, then only it happens. So they refract and disperse the incident sunlight and then reflect it internally and finally reflect it again, refract it again. Okay, when it comes out of the raindrop, so due to that dispersion of light, some internal reflection bhi hua. Okay, so these different colors, basically they are coming to your eyes. This is human eye. Okay, so always remember this thing. Getting this condition? Are you aware of the principle of total internal reflection? Okay, we'll cover that actually in some talk. It's very important. I think we have not covered it in that chapter. Okay, so now the natural process is like this. Suppose instead of a prism, now you're taking a, suppose you have gone to a shop, to a market. Okay, that scientific shop, and that over there you are asking for a raindrop kind of a, maybe a sphere. Okay, glass sphere, and now you are experimenting with the glass sphere. So whenever you get a time, if you are getting a glass sphere, try to experiment with that, so that is more closer to mother nature. Okay, whatever the principle is happening, so you might like come up with certain new observations also. Okay, so I am saying this, okay, prism is good, okay, but what we are trying to do in our studies, in our lectures, that how close you can come with mother nature, at least in your mind you can do that. And that's other way, that you cannot just put it on the ground. And definitely you can put it on the ground also, because all these things are man-made. Okay, so why that is like running? Okay, so Mr. Newton has like he has done that prism, and it is still happening because it is there in the books, and once a new person is coming, he reads about that. So why not we can have the glass sphere? Okay, and we can have some experiments around that. So if we can replace that, maybe we can have the prism also, and alongside prism we can have a nice example of these spherical glass things also. Okay, and some kind of an experiments around that, to understand, and to, and there should be some text, there should be something saying that okay, this is more closer to nature, and it is as good as a raindrop. Okay, so then people will more relate, it will be more relatable, and it will be very genuine also. Okay, so such kind of small things we can have in textbooks, and we can have in our study curriculums, because this is a big process, and many people, they have big committees there. But over the time, if you have to, we have to fill this gap. Okay, that is what we are doing at our own end. We are trying to fill that gap with our that ancient knowledge, which was very much required. So many people are having that knowledge, they are not well versed with these things. But a normal child is, I mean, most of in India, if we see, a normal child is studying. Okay, all through the India, they are studying the same thing, same textbooks are there. So if we like, if we can change over there, and if we can think towards how, but there has to be some motive, and motive is how close to the nature can we go. Why are we so much deviated, and we are just again daily, I mean yearly, year after year, the same books are like getting printed. Okay, so there has to be some changes in that, but it is not just for having the change, it is for because we are going more closer to the nature. Okay, so it is, you can say, like man-made experiments. Okay, very experiments or natural things. Okay, natural. Okay, natural experiments, you can say. So they are converging. Okay, so there is some kind of a deviation, you can say. यहाँ पे एक angle of deviation है. Okay, and what we are trying to do over here in terms of this lecture, we are trying to angle 0. Okay, we're trying to make angle d deviation as 0, because man-made experiments are there. Okay, they are also there, and they are also inspired from nature. I'm not saying that they are not inspired from nature somehow, but they are like going again and again, while when we see independently, there are so many other possibilities, and just changing one experiment, we can just go to mother nature more closely. Okay, so if there is some deviation in these two things, angle d, so what we are trying to do through our lectures is trying to make this angle d 0. Okay, more close to 0, that means as far as we can go. And if we can have that very smoothly, then why not? It's not like a big thing. Okay, just a shift in our intentions, just a shift in our thought process. Okay, based upon certain motive. It is not like motiveless. Motive is this one. Okay, getting it? So let us close this. Okay, so I'm closing the lecture for today, and we'll continue on some more topics in the next lecture. Okay. चलो टेक केयर, बाय.
थैंक यू सर.
Okay, bye, take care.